Perfect. Okay, here we are. So, welcome guys. It's a little bit different than we were last week. So, those of you who were with me in person last week, what a difference a week makes. We're still going to have an awesome workout. Okay, so all you need for this session is a resistance band. If you haven't got a resistance band, I think all of you joining live should have one. If you're watching on replay and you haven't got one, dressing gown belts to do the trick just as well. Okay, then all you need is a mat and some water. And we're going to get cracking. So let's start in with a warm-up. You can do this naked feet or in your trainers, whichever you prefer, okay? We're going to start in with some nice shoulder rolls. Just starting to warm the body up, just like we would do in any session. I often start in with these shoulder rolls because they're such a nice one. So just coming backwards, elbow comes out, and then gradually getting a little bit more exaggerated with them. So really trying to bring that shoulder up towards your ear. Lovely. 2 and 1, and then around in the other direction. So one direction might feel a little bit more natural than the other direction, but just try and go with both ranges. 2 and 1. Then we're bringing the arms out wide and we're coming over. One arm wide, over with the other one. Lovely. So we're not trying to get them to touch. We're just trying to stretch out that waist a little bit. You can have your legs quite wide here for stability. Perfect. So keep reaching over. 3, 2, and 1. Nice big circles all the way around. Loosen off any little knots and creaks all the way around. That's me clicking actually, if you can hear that. So clearly I need to do these ones this morning. And then coming around again in the opposite direction. There we go, that feels a little smoother for me. Good, so nice big circles. 2 and 1, just let your arms dangle down by your side. We're just going to stretch the wrists off a little bit. So just flex one wrist out and then back in towards you. And back down, and in, switching sides. Wrists often get overlooked, but because we're going to be using the band, we'll just give our wrists a little warm up too. Lovely, let's warm up those hips and those legs. So coming into those hip rotations, around and around. Good. So really opening up nice and wide. If you need to hold on to something, of course you can. This is just the warm up. So round and around, 2 and 1, then switching legs. Just find something to focus on. Me, I'll try and stay stable for you. So we're going around and out, around and out. Good, nice big shoulder roll. We're going to come into some side lunges with a pulse. So you're just stepping out to the side, hips stay facing forwards, and we're pulsing here. Good. So keep that chest open and shoulders back. 2 and 1. Then we're leaning across to the other side. So just leaning your body weight over and pulsing. Try to stay back, okay, rather than tipping forwards. Good. 2 and 1. Walk those feet back into center. We're just going to come into some sort of half roll downs. So rolling the shoulders forwards, just let the arms go heavy. You can either just stay here, keep the legs straight so you get a nice stretch through your calves and your hamstrings. Or if it feels nice, just swing slightly side to side. Quite a nice one just to ease off your lower back. Just rocking a couple of times and then coming back to center. Slowly rolling up, keeping those arms heavy in front of you, and then a nice shoulder roll at the top there. Good, and shake it out. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm just seeing, got a couple of extra people who've just joined. Yay, awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. So grabbing hold of either your resistance band or your dressing gown belt, whatever it is that you're using. We're going to start in with some nice upper body mobilization, getting warmed up. So I folded mine in half because it's quite long, and I'm coming up overhead, and we're going to go straight in with those speed walks. Let's get them done. over and done with early on. So you're pulling your band apart. You can have quite wide legs, or you can go one in front of the other. Doesn't matter, whichever gives you the most stability, okay? And then we're rotating around and around and around and around. Yes, I can see some extra little ones joining in as well. Yes, go on, guys. Everybody get involved. It's a family affair. Good. So keep going around. If you feel tension starting to build through your neck, just drop your chin down to your chest and then look back up again, but keep those arms moving, okay? It's a nice shoulder warmer to start off with. Good. We're going for 5 and 4, 3 and 2 and 1. Oh, good. Those should be warmed up now. We're going to come straight in to just an up and down. So I'm not coming behind. I'm just coming up overhead and back down. As I do these, I'm really tensing my abdominals. So I'm squeezing my core as I lift up, relaxing on the way back down. And again, if you can just pull that band apart slightly, you're going to get that resistance through your shoulders. But a little bit of a connection through your core and through your glutes. Good. Whew. Shoulders warm? I think they are. 3 and 2 and 1. Back down, roll them out if you need to, stepping your legs slightly wider. Okay, so you've got a nice wide surface, and we're going to come into these lovely stretch downs, back up to center, and again on the other side. So we're trying not to twist our body. Both hips are staying in line, they're pointing forwards, and we're just getting that nice stretch out through our waist, through the rib cage. Good. Don't forget to breathe. And just try and go down as far as you can, okay? Whatever feels right for you. Good. Got 1 more on each side. 1 and 1. Coming back down, roll those shoulders out. You should definitely be feeling it now. Back into that speed ball, but we're out in front this time. So I'm just cycling my arms through. You can go slowly, or you can really try and speed it up. Go, 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 go. Woo. You got it. Okay, so keep going here. Now, I'm going to get your brains working, okay? Either keep staying with this, or we're going to add in a few little squats as well, keeping the arms moving. So it's a bit like rubbing your head and patting your belly, or whichever way around it is. It's always good to get started with 1. Keep those arms moving though, even if you've got to slow it down. Try not to get them stopping. We're going for 4 and 3. Last couple. And down. Oh yes, we're burning. We're on fire. Give the arms a nice little roll through, okay? Right, if you're using a band, you're going to bring it behind your back, and we're going to do some tricep extensions. So that's the one where the bottom hand stays at the base of your spine and your top arm comes up and out, up and out. Have a go with it if you're using a dressing gown belt. If it doesn't work with the belt, I want you to drop your belt and I want you to do both arms just up like this without anything, because I don't want you ripping your belt. So either equipment free, raising up overhead like this, or with your rest band, single arm, try not to push those hips forward. Bottom hand, stay still, top arm, up and out. Keep going for 3, 2, and 1. Give both shoulders a little roll through. Okay, if you're doing the double arms, you're back into that without your equipment. If you're only single arms, you're switching. Good. So I'll just show you from the back. My bottom hand isn't moving, my top arm's coming up and out, up and out. And of course, you can play around with the resistance of your band. If you want more tension, wrap your arms around it more times to make you grit your teeth. Good. Keep going. Or if you're doing your doubles, last little set. For 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Good. Bring your hands up onto your shoulders. Elbows in, squeeze back. Elbows in, squeeze back. So chest comes out and then shoulder blades squeeze together. You've got it. Okay, we're going to give the arms a little bit of a break now. So we've got some leg work coming up. 2 and 1. Nice big shoulder roll. Okay, so pop your bands down to one side. Grab a drink if you want to. And then bringing your feet underneath your hips. Toes pointed forwards, okay? We're going to start in with just some straightforward squats. So I just want you sitting back and just coming down as low as you can and a little tilt at the top. So you're sitting back as low as you can, pushing your hips forwards at the top. Down and push. So again, at your own pace, you can slow these right down. It's actually harder to go really slow on your squats. But if you want to just hammer out as many reps as you can, that's up to you. Don't forget, squeeze the glutes. Push those hips forward slightly at the top with a little pelvic thrust. And start to think about just engaging your pelvic floor as well. So as you come up out of your squat, you're lifting up. Squatting down, lifting up your pelvic floor. Do the eyebrows if it helps. Good. Keep going, we've got a couple of these. Let's do 3 more. 3 and a 2. Last one, good. Pedal it through or just rotate your hips side to side slightly. We're going to come into some standing lateral raises. So if you want to hold on to something, if you normally hold on to your buggy handle, then grab a hold of something. If not, we're coming out and back in, out and back in. Now you can't quite see my toes here because I haven't got enough space. I'm not touching the floor in between, so I'm keeping my foot lifted off the mat the whole time. But if you want to, touch down and then lift, touch down and then lift. So you've got 2 different options there, okay? So you should feel this coming into your thighs, into your glutes, maybe even on the standing leg a bit more. Good. We'll get all those core muscles activated with our balance. Woo! 2 more on this side. 1 and 2. And then pedal it through. Just toes to heel down on your mat. Just to give your brain a little chance to catch up before we switch sides. So again, out and in, either with that little toe touch in between, or just grazing literally a centimetre or so off the floor with the leg lifted the whole time. You might feel a bit more wobbly on one side than the other. I feel a little bit more wobbly on this side. It's completely normal, don't worry. If you can do it without holding on there, really try, because it does get those core muscles fired up. Good, we've got 2 more on this side for 1 and 2, and then walk it through. Grab a drink at any point, okay ladies? The next one, we're going stepping out our feet quite wide, so they're wider than my shoulders now. My toes are turned to the corner of my mat. We're going to go down into a nice big sumo squat. So I'm squatting down and then I'm coming back up. The whole time my knees are in line with my toes. Okay, so you might only be coming down this far. It's absolutely fine. If you can come down even lower, then do. You should still be able to wriggle your toes, remember. So your body weight is back, pushing that weight back into your bottom. Chest is open. Good. Told you it was harder with the slower ones, right? Oh, it's easier when you've got a bit of momentum behind you. So keep going. 2 more. 1 and 2. Pushing up. Walk those feet back in. We're coming straight into ankle taps. So options for your ankle taps are just walking them through, keeping that upper torso nice and tall. Or if you want something a bit more cardio based and your pelvic floor is up to it, you can hop it through. So again, various options, go with which one works for you. Good, I'm just coming to check in on everybody. Woohoo, looking good. Keep going. Good. Chest out. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last one on the legs. You should be feeling a little bit puffed now. You're coming into a squat hold. So sit back wherever your point is and hold. Try and go as deep as you can. And breathe. This is your recovery. So you're just holding it here in this squat hold. Slightly more tricky if you've got little ones climbing all over you. I'll give you that. Stay here, stay low. We've got 5 and 4, 3, 2, and power up. And give those legs a shake off. Whew. Good stuff. Grab a drink. How are we doing? Give me a thumbs up. You're still with me? Awesome stuff. Okay. Good work, team. One last little one. And then we're coming down onto our mats. Okay, so one last standing one. I just want you to grab hold of your bands again. Either fold it in half or wrap it around your hands a couple of times. And we're just going to come into some high knees across our body. Across our body. So if you can get knees up to your wrists, then great. If you're only coming halfway, that's also great. Just go with the one that works for you. Again, low impact option. Number 1, walking it through. Number 2, you're adding in your bounce. So whichever feels right for you, feels good for you, go for it. I just want to get our heart rates up a little bit more, and then we're coming down onto our mats, okay? So last little set. We've got it. So really try and get whichever one you're doing, those knees up as high as you can. Good. Whew. Keep going. We've got this, team. Whew. For 5 and 4, slowest countdown coming up. 3, keep lifting, 2, okay, last little one, and we're done. Good. Okay, whew. I'm puffed. Hopefully you are too. Pop your bands down. You're going to need them when we're down on the floor. If you need to adjust your screens and bring them down onto the mat with you, then do. I'm bringing you guys down here with me. And so if you haven't got a mat, just make sure that you're not doing it on hard wooden floor, okay? Carpet will be fine if not. Grab your mat, bring your water down with you as well if you want to, and then bring your bands. We're sitting up to start off with, okay? So don't get too comfortable yet and go lying back. We're going to start off with a seated row. So hooking your band or your cord around your feet. I'll run through the options. If you know what you're doing, get stuck in straight away. Otherwise, option number 1, sitting up nice and tall and just rowing your elbows back so my torso isn't moving at all. Again, depending on if you're using a cord, you might not get too much of a stretch in there, so just go with what works. Okay, this is a good one, staying up, sitting tall if you've got any lower back issues, or if you've still got a muscle separation in your abdominals. If you haven't, if your abs are feeling stronger, you can lean back into it, okay? Again, my body isn't moving though. So I've gone back to the point where I can really feel my abs firing up, and I'm just rowing back. My elbows are nice and tight into my torso, just like yours are. Good. Keep going. If it feels too much, if you leant back and you feel like your tummy's doming, come back a little bit more, okay? It doesn't have to be fully upright, but you be the judge of what feels right for your body. Good. Keep going. 4 and 3, 2 one, sitting forwards, just lean forwards, reach down and grab a hold of your ankles or your shins, just to ease off that lower back. And then we're going to be coming down onto the mats. Before we do, I want you just hooking the band around one foot, the other foot is free, okay? Either coming down onto your sides or coming into a roll back. And the foot that's got the band around it is coming up in the air. So get comfortable. The opposite leg is bent. And then we're just going to raise that leg up and down, up and down. So keeping the leg nice and straight. Now your band is just helping to add a little stretch in. Hopefully you might feel that coming into the back of your hamstrings as we lift up and down, up and down. Good. So when you come in, just bring it in as far as feels comfortable in towards your torso without bending the knee if possible. You need to have a little bend in your knee. Some people are really tight through either the hamstrings or the hip flexors and it's not comfortable to have straight legs. So if it isn't, then obviously bend your knee, but otherwise up and down for 2 and 1. Keep it up there, step your other foot in, drop that one, and then you've got to change over. Good. So yeah, up and down. This is a nice one, okay? This shouldn't feel like hard work. This is just a nice one to lengthen out those hip flexors, stretch off the hamstrings before we come into our next little round. Good. 2 more of these. 1 and 2. You can step that foot out, unhook your band. We're going to be coming into bridges next. So if you want to do a resisted bridge, you're going to bring that resistance band over your hips. Or if you've got a little one that's wanting to join in, you can sit them on your laps. Otherwise, you're just going to do it without. So knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. And then you're just going to start rolling that pelvis up. So tilting your pelvis up towards your rib cage. If you're using the band, you're not going to get very high. You're going to hold, and then you're going to roll back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, back down. If you're doing it without the band, you're hopefully going to get a little higher. So whenever you're ready, just lift off, and then coming up just to the point where you feel good. Squeeze those glutes, hold just for the count of 2, and then rolling back down again. So really trying to articulate through the spine, back down. Once you hit the mat, reset that core, belly button back to spine, and then lift. So your core is tensed as you lift up, and then it's relaxing as you roll back down again. Good. Doesn't really matter how far apart your legs are, okay? So go with whatever's comfortable. Normally slightly wider gives you a bit more of a stable base, and it's going to activate your pelvic floor a little bit more. But if you want a slightly harder bridge, you can bring your knees close together. You've got more of a wobbly surface. So have a little play around and go with what feels like a good option for you. 2 more of these. Lift, hold, and roll down. And on this last one, we're going to stay up, okay? So regardless of whether you've got your band or without a band, you're going to lift and you're going to stay here. So squeeze those glutes. I want you to feel tension through your glutes and up into your abdominals. The rest of you should feel fairly relaxed, okay? You might feel it in your thighs there. But just keep breathing naturally. Don't try and hold your breath. Good, stay here. 3 and 2 and 1. Slowly, slowly roll back down, and then bring one knee and the other knee into your chest. Bring it out here. If you want to lift your shoulders a little bit off your mat and go for a squeeze, then you can. Good stuff. We're rolling over onto our sides. I'm going to spin around this way. So either side to start off with. Roll around. Get that elbow all the way underneath your shoulder, okay guys? So that you've got a nice bit of stability. It's not out here. It's tucked all the way in. Legs are straight, hips are stacked, one on top of the other, and ankles are stacked. We're going to start off with some leg lifts. So that's just that nice up and down, up and down. Now you can have this hand on the floor if you want a bit more stability, or you can lift it away and bring it up onto your hip, or extend up overhead. Try not to let this top hip roll forwards though, okay? So just keep lifting. Good. Oh, everyone looks very elegant doing these. All I can see is these beautiful legs lifting and floating back down. We're channeling our inner ballerina. Good. Either keep going with this, because this might be enough for some, or if you want something slightly harder, you're going to keep it high and pulse, and you can tell from the way my face and my voice has changed that that's much harder. You really feel that into the glutes, right? So again, do the one that's working for you, either pulsing or up and down. Good. 3 and 2 and 1. Drop that leg down in front just to give that thigh a little stretch out or a little pat down if you need to. Then you're bending your knees, still keeping that elbow underneath, so if it's moved out a bit, scoot it back in. This time ankles and your feet are going to stay pinned together, and you're going to open up that top leg. So it's like a book opening out. Again, a nice one, this one, after those leg pulses, just to open up those hip flexors. Good. All the time, just thinking about keeping that tension in your core though, okay? Don't let gravity take over just because we've come down to our mats. So keep opening and rowing through. Good. 2 and 1. Back down, legs back out again, and back into whichever option you want to go for here. Either your lifts or your pulses. It's going to feel it. You're definitely going to feel it. Second time's a charm. Keep going. Good. You've got it. We're going for 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Drop that leg down in front, stretch that thigh out, or give a little Swedish massage to yourself. And then we're going to flip over onto the other side. So just swivel yourself up to sitting, come across. Do take a second to get comfortable, okay? So bringing that elbow underneath, then extending your legs, starting off with the lifts. Everyone can start off with the lifts together, and then I'll let you know when you can go into your pulses if you're feeling a little bit sadistic. Good. Keep going here. Remember your hand options. You all know what you're doing. You've got it. Okay, keep going or transform into pulses for this last little set. Grit your teeth if you need to get these pulses done. You know it's working, right? Don't need to ask you where you're feeling it, because you definitely are. 2 and 1, stretch it off. Good. If you're not getting comfortable down on here, you can always come up and have a little shoulder roll in between rounds. Then you're bending the knees, feet are pinned together, and we're coming into these open, good hip openers. You've got it. Woo. Good work, guys. So we've worked our upper body, we've worked our legs, we've done a little bit of core work. Not so much core work today, but we've got lots of sessions to get through online. But don't you worry, it's going to change week to week. 2 and 1. Straighten those legs out. Last little set of either your pulses or your lifts. Good. Go on. You can do it. Breathe. only place you should be feeling tense is through those glutes. Good. Oh, I know it's a burner. Last little set. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Stretch that thigh. Bring it forwards. How are we doing? Pretty good. Hold it here. Okay, good stuff. We're going to come into some stretches now. So I'm going to get the first one down on our mats and then we'll come and sit up. So you're going to bring one leg in front of you, bent, and then the opposite leg outstretched behind you. You're either going to stay quite high, or you're going to lower yourself down onto your forearms, or you can come all the way down so your head's on your mat. I'll show you from this angle. This knee is bent, the opposite leg is extended, either holding high or coming all the way down. Wherever you can feel a stretch, okay, you should feel it right into that glute, so it's a lovely one to do, especially after those pulses. Hold it here. When that stretch starts to ease off, just rock your hips slightly, side to side, until you find that point where you can get that stretch back and hold. Good. 2, and 1. Coming back up, switching around. So opposite leg, it's bent in front of you, and the other leg is out behind you. I'm going to stay high for this one just so I can check in on you guys. Good. So keep holding. Looking good. And then angle your hips a little bit just so that you can rock and really get it. Woo. 2, and 1. People are getting like clambered over. There's me going, oh, it's really nice and relaxing. Not necessarily, depending on how you're doing. Okay, we're coming up to sitting. If you guys want to come off of mute and have a little chat, then you're welcome to. We're going to stay with the legs. So one knee is bent, other leg is stretched out, and you're going to reach across. How are we doing, guys? Give me a thumbs up. We're all good. Yay! Hold it here. And then just see if you can lean into that stretch a little bit more. We did some good leg work here. Hello, are you coming to say hi to me? Everybody's coming to say hi to me. Hello, everybody. Okay, switching sides, so reaching across on the other side, down, just grab hold of either your shin or your ankles or your toes, wherever feels good. Awesome. Hold it here. There is a lot of action going on. You guys are awesome. Okay, it's one thing doing a workout outside when the little ones are strapped in and you're pushing them around. It's quite another when you're being clambered all over. So all credit to you. Oh, stretch out. Okay, let's do the arms back to where we started from. So one arm out across the front of your chest. Pin it in. Hold it here. I'm just going to put myself back onto the spotlight just for everybody else. Good. So really pin that arm into your chest, sitting up nice and tall. And then same arm you're going to bring up and over. You can either grab hold of the hands or grab the elbow just to pull it back. Again, sitting up nice and tall, don't be tempted to slouch forwards. Hold it here. 2, and 1. Switching sides, so out across the front of your chest first. So find the spot where you can pin it in that feels good. For me, it's all the way down here. For some of you, it might be further up. Good. 2, and 1. Coming up overhead, grabbing either the elbows or the fingertips to pull it down. Stretch it out from where we did those tricep extensions right at the start. Good. 2 and 1. Roll those shoulders back. You're going to bring the palms of your hands into the small of your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Chest comes out. That's a nice one. Let's hold this here. A couple of nice deep breaths in. And then when you're ready, bringing those shoulder blades apart, wrapping around, really kind of making your belly as concave as you can. So sinking your belly button back in towards your spine and opening up across the back of your shoulder blades here. If it feels nice, you can drop your chin down onto your chest. Hold it. 3, 2, and 1. Roll it up. Couple of little shoulder rolls. And we are done. Virtual high five to you guys. Awesome job. I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. It was a fun session. So I'm going to stop the recording for everyone who's going to watch on replay. Good job.